Well, hello and welcome to Roland's Reviews. So glad to have you back with me again today. Many of you were in the live last night and you promised me that you would come back again. So I want to know um, your thoughts on this subject matter. It sort of segues into a lot of the things that we discuss already on this channel. And so, do me a small favor, folks, as you are entering the um, chat room, hit that little thumb. That is the like button. And I promise it will not cost you anything. All right. Yeah, Chicago, you work all the time. You finally made it live. We're glad you're here. And I understand, people have to work and do what they have to do, but we're always glad when you can make it. Okay. Um, as you fill up the chat room, and I'll give you a couple of minutes for that. Don't forget, if you've been watching this channel for a while and you are not subscribed, hey, today's your day. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure that you have it on all notifications. Now, you have to check it from time to time. Sometimes I have subbies tell me that they have received no notifications and that they've been unsubscribed from the channel. Just know that is not me. That is YT. And I know sometimes YouTube has some technical difficulties, but when you're being unsubscribed from the channel, trust that is not me. All right. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and I guess start with the um, roll call. If you would like for me to call your name out, you can say hello. You can say, hold on, let me get this here. You can send an emoji, whatever. It is your choice. Okay. But if you're here and you don't say anything, if you don't send an emoji, I cannot tell. I can tell the number of people, but I cannot tell who is present. And I don't mind giving you a shout out. Jeffrey, how are you? Yes, this is going to be very interesting. Yes. Chubbs, how you doing, love? Lisa is here. Chicago Hood. Finally got a day off. Jeffrey is here. Thank you so much, Jeff. Laurie is here. We're glad you're here. Butterfly Nest. Thank you so much, dear. Jeffrey's out of Houston, Texas. Woohoo! All right. Um, and so look at this subject matter. Now, if you have seen this footage, let me know. Type it in the comment section. Say, yes, I have. No, I have not. If you have heard something about this case, it's been all over social media. So unless you've just been extremely busy, it should have come across your path on some form of social media. And I wanted to cover this because, again, it covers. Oh, Butterfly Nest, you're not familiar with it. Okay, Lee. Oh, wow. Perfect. Okay. And commonly you hear me talking about um things that are going on as it relates to culture, as it relates to some of the communities who have many issues, some black and brown communities, and we discuss some of those topics, and we discuss some of the um, issues in some of those communities and why they're caused. Yes, Chicago Hood, exactly. Ghetto behavior. And that's exactly what it is. And that's the title. Ghetto mother arrested for slapping principal to the ground who saved her kids during basketball game. And so if you look at a lot of these kids, and I have a couple of videos to share with you, and all of you who've been here on the channel for a while, you already know I am an avid student of Dr. Thomas Sowell. I have a couple of his books. If I had time, I'd read all 40. He has over 40, actually. I'm just busy and don't have time to read them all. But Larry Elder, he was telling people this in the 90s, and he was called all kinds of horrible names. Dr. Sowell's been called all kinds of horrible names. You do that to the people who are giving you answers to the problem. Beverly, how are you doing, love? Chicago, I'm not off today working, but hopefully it won't be too busy. Good, Chicago. Don't work too hard. It is Sunday after all. And so, ghetto mother arrested after slapping principal. This is totally unacceptable behavior. People get angry when they are stereotyped, but look at the behavior that you are engaged in. How you doing, Florida? Of course, Florida helps me to keep this channel straight. And she's the channel program director. She really keeps me on track. So we're definitely glad she's here. So this highlights one of the biggest problems in American society, the lack of fathers in the home. I've talked about that. You have these emotional women, and this is what I tell my students, folks, and you probably, if you're around my age, you know what I'm talking about. If you're out and someone's exhibiting bad behavior, you don't have to partake in that. I tell my students, if you walk away, they will get tired of standing there talking to themselves, and they'll figure it out, and they'll go on, they'll move on. A lot of these things that happen don't have to happen if one person would just walk away. But people have to get the last word in, and you have all these kids, especially these males, raised by women who are emotional, and they can't control their emotions. And then they're raising these kids in general, but the boys, it's especially difficult. It's hard on raising boys, and they raise them to be emotional. And then again, as an educator, I told you, every time I hear that pipeline from the school to the prison, I shut people down real quick. And I said, no, ma'am, no, sir. That is not me. That comes from their parents. Okay. And people don't like to hear it, but it's true. So women raising boys. And a lot of these women, they're poor role models. And they're the ones that are filling the prisons, not me. I can only teach what you send me to public school. And that's just where it is. So let's watch this video. And I mean, this is brutal. And you know what I tell my high school students? When people lash out at you, usually they're miserable and they're upset with something going on in their lives that you have nothing to do with, because this behavior is unwarranted. And get this, the principal was protecting her children. She was nowhere to be found. They kept running on the court during a basketball game, which is dangerous. And these were small children. So let's watch this, folks. And I'll be keeping up with your responses in the chat section.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg and Liz here with you. We're going to start with the WAFB I-Team exclusive. We know that sometimes emotions can get the best of us, but this is going way too far.
Yeah, 2 adults are in jail tonight after police say a parent punched a school principal this week in Plaquemine. It was all captured on school surveillance cameras as our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto, obtained the video of that assault. You see it here. He joins us now with details on what led to this skirmish. Good evening, Chris.
Well, good evening, Liz and Greg. We're told the principal made a comment to the parent about the woman's children after they kept walking onto the basketball court during a game. Police say the mom was not having it. What happened next sent the principal to the hospital with a busted lip and a head injury. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, then what surveillance video records is invaluable. Tonight, this video of a principal getting slapped to the ground is turning heads in the city of Plaquemine. On Monday, the principal at Iberville Elementary was watching a basketball game when police say she noticed young children walking onto the court while the game was being played. You can see the principal getting up so the little kids didn't get hurt. At least 2 times, she pulls the kids back while the game is in play. At some point, Plaquemine Police Chief Stephen Angolio says words were exchanged, and the mom was having none of it.
The principal sitting in a chair, the lady's walking by with 3 kids in tow and one of her friends, and the principal asked her, hey, keep your kids off the basketball court, disrupts the whole game. She obviously took offense with that, and you see her move in on the teacher puts her hand up to kind of keep her off, and she just punched her, knocked her out of the chair.
Surveillance footage in the school's gym obtained by the WAFBI team shows the parent hit the principal. She's knocked to the ground.
This wasn't excitement from the competition. You made a bad call on my child or anything. This is a woman that was there with kids that was disrupting everything. I don't even think she had a child in the game at all. And she wasn't watching her kids. And when somebody told her you need to, she didn't like it.
An Iberville deputy on scene quickly tried to break it up. Tonight, Alicia Parker, the mom seen hitting the principal, is facing felony charges: battery on a school teacher, resisting officers, and disturbing the peace. Another woman who also got involved is also facing charges. Jamisha Godshaw charged with assault on a school teacher, disturbing the peace, battery of a school teacher, and threatening a public official.
Her cohort was kind of egging it on and made some threats and was cussing people out too.
After the principal was knocked to the ground, you can see she grabs a napkin to wipe her face. Police say she had a busted lip and a head injury.
She was taken to the hospital. CAT scans and stuff like that had to be done. And she's okay now, but it was a pretty brutal attack.
With Parker and Godshaw now facing felony charges over the melee, law enforcement in Iberville Parish says this behavior won't be tolerated, especially at a child's basketball game.
You get in a fight at a public event, you're going to jail. Nobody wants to come out and go to 4th of July's and Mardi Gras parades and ball games and see that. And I don't blame them. Before it was like escort them out, write them a summons or whatever. You get in a fight, start any kind of fistic ruckus at a public event in Plaquemine, you're going to jail.
Parker is being held on a $100,000 bond. We're told Godshaw had bench warrants for other issues, too. The Iberville Parish Superintendent told me today this behavior will not be tolerated, and the two individuals mentioned in this report have been banned from all Iberville Parish schools. For the WAFBI team, I'm Chris Nakamoto. Guys?
All right. And I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Yes, Tamika, this is sad. Lisa, Truth Bomb. What kind of example is this that she's setting for these kids? Stupid, ignorant BS. And her friend, the other cow, she had bench warrants. Sweetie, why were you even getting into trouble? They were already looking for you. So this is what I try to tell my high school students. Oh, and Cammie, let me read Cammie's statement. Cammie, I'm calling it. They did it because she's white. Cammie, now you know if the shoe were on the other foot, all the race hustlers would be involved. This is racism. This is white supremacy. This was a hate crime. I don't hear them saying anything about this incident. All I hear is crickets. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And that's why I'm highlighting this. I say this all the time. Butterfly Nest, thank you, love, for your fair use copyright disclaimer. Thank you so much. I say this all the time, people. I'm in the public school system, have been for 27 years. And I'm not saying that I know everything, but I've seen this type of parent before. Sometimes when the parents come up to the high school, and I've taught at different high schools, we see where the children get it. They're dealing with these emotional people, and obviously they're miserable. And I'm calling this too, Cammie. Let me add this to the mix. She probably still has some TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, because the Curry Queen did not win. I'm seeing all kinds of lashing out on social media. They're still angry because the Skamala Queen did not win. Get over it. It's done. And you get mad when people say something about you, but you continue to exhibit this behavior. These emotional women, these ratchet women, they're very emotional. And again, they're miserable. William gets worse during sporting events. Parents are worse than the children. William, I've seen it. Yes, you're right. Chubb. So if you're a teacher or principal, you're trying to help little kids from getting hurt, and parents slaps you down for doing what's right. Shameful. Chubbs, this cow was nowhere to be found. Her kids kept running up and down the court. The woman was trying, this principal that she slapped down, I mean, she hit her hard. This principal kept moving her children out of the way from from harm, from danger, trying to protect them. And what did she get for her trouble? She got knocked out of her chair. That's what she got for her trouble. Katrina, Lord have mercy, doubling down on wrong. Good afternoon, rolling in chat. Yes, Tamika, it is a sad story. It should not be tolerated, but when you're always asking, you're always hearing these stories, why can't they get teachers? Now, this lady is a principal, okay? Same thing. Look at what we have to deal with. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous. Jeffrey, oh, okay. We're the Real Rap Show. How you doing? Good day, love. Get the likes up, chat. Yes, hit the like button, folks. That's why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video because we talk about these similar issues, and people are always, oh, they can't find teachers. Well, there's a very good reason why. Look at the crap we have to deal with. Real Rap, thank you so much. Drop your channel link if you want to, love. James, please spell the names of the two felons. I'll pull it up for you, no problem. Tamika, need more prayer. Tamika, they took prayer out of school. Matt, you can thank Madeline O'Hare for that. And if you don't know what happened to her, she, her son, and her granddaughter wound up murdered, unalived, and buried in the desert. Look it up. Yeah, the lady, that nasty, vile, vulgar lady, Madam O'Hare, who was responsible for prayer being removed from the schools. That's how she met her end. Yeah, Real Rap, drop your link if you want to. So I'm sharing this because this is not an anomaly. This happens regular. All right, this is not an anomaly. Where are we here? And again, I told you I've been watching Larry Elder since the 90s when I was in college, right? So there's that. And Larry Elder, you have people who keep telling you what you need to do, but you call them names and you don't seek them for advice. Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell is 4 years old. He's been telling people for years. No one listens. No one. So that tells you they don't want to fix the problem. Chubbs, and people wonder why kids don't respect others when they see their parents not showing them a good example on how to be a good person. Chubbs, truth bomb. All right, so let me get this started. This is PragerU. If you've been here before, I love PragerU. You know, they call it as it is. And that's just how it goes. Cammie, these ghetto black folks are going to push and push until Jim Crow 2.0 comes sooner or later. White folks are going to stand up and push back against all this BS. Cammie, it's already started. You see what happened down there in Louisiana? And all the race hustles were saying, oh, this is racism. Well, a lot of white people moved away. They were tired of paying taxes and getting the crappy school systems education that they were getting down there, and all their other sorry, sucky services. All right. So, yeah, people that are paying taxes, they don't want to live around this ghetto mess. Portilla, how are you? I watch Fulton County Court live on YouTube every day. 75% are in the bond hearings for domestic violence. Right, Portilla, that's what we're saying. A lot of these single parent, not all, but a large majority, it stems from these emotional women. And again, people who lash out, I tell my high school students, they're miserable. It has nothing to do with you. That's why I tell them to ignore them. Thank you, Tamika's Mark. Tamika, if you have a link, drop it, love. All right, here we go.
Years ago, I interviewed Kwesi Nfume, then the president of the NAACP. As between the presence of white racism and the absence of black fathers, I asked him, which poses the bigger threat to the black community? Without missing a beat, he said, the absence of black fathers. It was President Barack Obama who said, we all know these statistics, that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in prison. The Journal of Research on Adolescence confirms that even after controlling for varying levels of household income, kids in father-absent homes are more likely to end up in jail. And kids who never had a father in the house are the most likely to wind up behind bars. In 1960, 5% of America's children entered the world without a mother and father married to each other. By 1980, it was 18%. By 2000, it had risen to 33%, and 15 years later, the number reached 41%. For Blacks, even during slavery, when marriage for slaves was illegal, Black children were more likely than today to be raised by both their mother and father. Economist Walter Williams has written that, according to census data from 1890 to 1940, a Black child was more likely to grow up with married parents than a white child. For Blacks, out-of-wedlock births have gone from 25% in 1965 to 73% in 2015. For whites, from less than 5% to over 25%, and for Hispanics, out-of-wedlock births have risen to 53%. What happened to fathers? The answer is found in a basic law of economics. If you subsidize undesirable behavior, you will get more undesirable behavior.
Yep.
In 1949, the nation's poverty rate was 34%. By 1965, it was cut in half to 17%, all before President Lyndon Johnson's so-called war on poverty.
Yep.
But after that war began in 1965, poverty began to flatline. From 1965 until now, the government has spent over $20 trillion to fight poverty. The poverty rate has remained unchanged, but the relationship between poor men and women has changed dramatically. That's because our generous welfare system allows women, in effect, to marry the government. And this makes it all too easy for men to abandon their traditional moral and financial responsibilities. Psychologists call such dependency learned helplessness. How do we know that the welfare state creates disincentives that hurt the very people we're trying to help?
Yep.
They tell us. In 1985, the Los Angeles Times asked both the poor and the non-poor whether poor women often have children to get additional benefits. Most of the non-poor respondents said no. However, 64% of poor respondents said yes. Now, who do you think is in a better position to know? Tupac Shakur, the late rapper, once said, "I know for a fact that had I had a father, I'd have some discipline, I'd have more confidence." He admitted he began running with gangs because he wanted the things a father gives to a child, especially to a boy: structure and protection.
Yep.
Your mother cannot calm you down the way a man can, Shakur said.
Right.
You need a man to teach you how to be a man. In my book, Dear Father, Dear Son, I write about my rough, tough World War II Marine Staff Sergeant dad. Born in the Jim Crow South of Athens, Georgia, he was 14 at the start of the Great Depression. Growing up, I watched my father work 2 full-time jobs as a janitor. He also cooked for a rich family on the weekends and somehow managed to go to night school to get his GED. When I was 10, my father opened a small restaurant that he ran until he retired in his mid-80s. He was never angry or bitter and insisted that today's America was very different from the world of racial segregation and limited opportunity in which he grew up. Hard work wins, he told me and my brothers. You get out of life what you put into it. You can't control the outcome, but you are 100% in control of the effort. And before blaming other people, go to the nearest mirror and ask yourself, what could I have done to change the outcome?
That's right.
This advice shaped my life. Fathers matter. Until we have a government policy that makes that its first priority, nothing will change. I'm Larry Elder for Prager University.
Okay. Thoughts on that, folks? Chicago hood. These baby mamas are saturated with entitlement and are so rude. I encounter it all the time. They need help. Chicago, anytime. Chicago hood and everyone else in the chat. You know, just like I know, anytime the government gets involved with something, it turns into a mess. So they're married to the government, right? Well, we know why things are so bad. James, yes, I really wanted him. Yes, Lisa, love that video. Yeah, thank you. I have another Lisa. Don't go anywhere, dear. Elder, I wanted him to win so bad. I really did, James. If I had disrespect any teachers or principals, when I was in school, I wouldn't be able to sit for a week. In other words, my tail would have been on 5 chubs. Yes, okay. And so that's the issue. Elder has been telling them since the 90s. I told you, Dr. Thomas Sowell is 93, 94 years old. He's been telling them forever. They don't talk to him. They talk to the race hustlers like Al Sharptongue and Jesse Jackson and the Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP. Okay, so they know the problem. They don't want to fix the problem. They don't want to be out of work. They want to keep the checks coming. And so that's the issue, folks. And they know what the problem is. William, sadly, you can't force a father to stay with their children. If you take welfare away from the mother, the child will suffer. Men won't make laws forcing men to stay with their families. William, that's actually a good point. James Rowland, thank you for playing. Oh, yeah, James, you know I love PragerU. I love them. Yeah. And it's just where we are. And I play these because people, the race hustlers are always blaming white supremacy, systemic racism. They're blaming everything except what they should be blaming. And again, people were doing better prior to the formation of the welfare state. And I think I mentioned to you, they're talking about, they're cutting people's food stamps. They have been all over social media. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I mean, when you become dependent, and we know that's the Democratic way to keep people on your plantation, to keep people dependent. That's how it goes. It needs to be a program for females raising boys, right? Tamika, I say change the way the welfare program is set up, because the way it's set up, the government will help you as long as there is no male. I mean, and there are some situations where men are there, but they don't get married because then the woman loses the benefits. So it's a broken system. But women raising sons, and again, a lot of them are miserable. And they're emotional, and they're raising these boys, and then they're unleashed on the rest of us. They're some of the monsters that we're seeing committed some of these crimes. Not all of them, but some of them. And this single parent stuff, no good. And so again, who knows what that woman had going on in her life, but she walked up on the principal combative. Okay. So again, I don't know what she had going on, but she took it out on that principal. And like Cammie said, she did that because the woman was white. That's all that was. And this is the kind of behavior that these kids are exposed to. So when we see them out here committing crimes, acting emotional, we're like, what's wrong with them? They're getting it from these single mothers. The principal was trying to protect her. If you're just coming in, hit that like button. Yes, Jeffrey. The principal is doing what the mother was supposed to be doing. And then she walks up. I mean, and she hit her hard. The woman had to go to the hospital. So I don't know what kind of issues that woman has going on, but CPS needs to get involved and take those kids from her. Obviously, she, because you see what she's teaching them. And they're going to grow up and be aggressive and assaulting people as well, just like mama. And so tell me what you think about this, folks, in the comment section. Chubbs, my dad didn't have a dad, and his mom was dad and mom, and she was a Christian woman and raised my dad to honor God's words and to do what's right. He raised me with the same values. Yes, Chubbs. Good. Tori, I am a single mixed dad of 2 small children. I see the way the kids are without dad, and it's sad. We have to keep in perspective. Taking away unaliving rights from women, it's going to get worse. Tori, you may be right. I don't know. But we'll see. But a lot of these situations are so dysfunctional. How you doing, Brenda? This is a sorry excuse for a mother. and who was nowhere to be found. The principal was doing what she was supposed to be doing. And this happened near Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So this mother, I call her Mother of the Year. She did this. And did you notice, those of you who came in late, she did this as she was holding one of her smaller children in her arms. Okay? Did you, those of you who came in, rewind the tape. Ghetto behavior personified. She is nothing but a
loser.
So let me get this other video going for you. Okay? And this, of course, this is my main man, Dr. Sowell.
Well, you're creating a situation where if the man stays there, the government will not give the woman welfare, and if he leaves, it will. And so they're paying. When you pay people not to get married, more people don't get married.
Most Black children were being raised in two-parent families in 1960. 30 years after the liberal welfare state, the great majority of Black children were being raised by single parents.
Yes.
Everybody see that? The statistics don't lie. One thing about Dr. Sowell, he always has his receipts. So the liberal welfare state, get rid of it.
How does that, by the way, we should note that Patrick Moynihan publishes the Moynihan Report in 1965.
Yes.
And he's alarmed because the illegitimacy rate among Black families is 25% then. Now, among whites, it's over a third.
Yes.
Hispanics, it's over half. And among African Americans, it's over 70%. What's going on there?
Well, this is, again, this too, you find the same thing in Britain. You find it in France and Norway. You find it in the Western world. In fact,
the dissolution of the family structure.
Oh, yeah. There are any number of Western nations where 40% of the children are raised with only one parent.
Right.
At the extremes, compared to Asian countries, at the extremes, Iceland, it's 2 out of 3 children born are raised in a single parent home. In South Korea, it's 1 out of 66.
Wow. Wow. And so that's the welfare state?
Yes.
It is.
And I will say with Dr. Sowell, like I said, I've read some of his, some excerpts from his books, and I have a couple of his books. He not only has statistics for this country, he has statistics, from England and all these other countries. And every time the welfare state was instilled, hey, it doesn't matter the race of people, you get the same results.
You're creating a situation where if the first of all, you're creating a situation where if the man stays there, the government will not give the woman welfare, and if he leaves, it will. And so they're paying. When you pay people not to get married, more people don't get married.
Quote, Black Americans, a group often identified as beneficiaries of the welfare state in America, made considerable economic progress in the 20th century. Fine, of course, but much, if not most. This is the thing with you. The dependent clause is where the sting is. But much, if not most, of this progress was prior to the massive expansion of the American.
So you see that, folks? So Lyndon Baines Johnson said he did this to help. People were doing better prior to the welfare state being instilled. They were already improving. And then he started the welfare state, and it's just been downhill ever since. I'm telling you, Dr. Sowell, some of us here always say, where are the receipts? He has the receipts. Chubb said the mom was probably outside smoking weed and walked in and saw the principal moving her kids to safety and wasn't watching them herself like she should have been. Chubbs. Yes, okay. Katrinka, and yeah, Katrinka, you're right. And Tamika, you're right. Some women do a fine job, but we're talking statistically speaking, a lot don't. But for the women, the single mothers who are out here doing their best, who are trying to instill in their children, morals and character, some people do a good job. But some, like this Mother of the Year, oh my God. Katrina, as far as I'm aware, there is no more cash welfare for citizens of the U.S. Technically, Bill Clinton ended it. Well, they still get the food stamp, the SNAP benefits, and that's nothing but a major scam. A lot of people are selling them to get cash to buy other things. So it needs to be overhauled, folks. All right, here we go.
Welfare state, close quote. That is so I want to say counterintuitive, because we hear so much about African-American progress since civil rights and the establishment of the welfare state that it really has become a kind of American intuition. Explain yourself, Dr. Sowell.
Well, as of 1940, 87% of Black households were in poverty. Over the next 20 years, that declined to 47%. This is all prior to the civil rights laws, prior to the social welfare policies of the Johnson administration. Over the next 20 years, it fell an additional 18 points. But that was not, that was just the same trend continuing at a reduced rate. Affirmative action is even worse, because as I remember, I'm trying to think now, the numbers. I think it was something like, poverty rate was something like 30% among Black households before affirmative action. And a decade after affirmative action, it was 29%. This is not the same as the 40% decline that occurred before there were any civil rights laws and before there was any social welfare state.
And so what happened between 1940 and 1960 was the post-Second World War economic boom.
It was
that, right?
but it was also the massive migration of Blacks out of the South.
So they're getting better education and jobs.
That's right.
Okay. Now, you mentioned cultural and social retrogressions. Again, I'm quoting you. Arguably the most consequential of these was the decline in two-parent families.
Yeah.
And those who were interested, where they're getting these excerpts from, this Wealth, Poverty, and Politics and International Perspective. I don't have that particular book, but that's another book that Dr. Sowell has written. So if you're enjoying this content, well, you can grab the book if you want to. And I don't have that one, but yeah, that's where they're getting these excerpts from.
Yes.
Close quote. Explain that one. Among African Americans.
Yes.
We're still talking about African Americans.
Well, when they talk about things like this, they talk about the legacy of slavery.
Right.
And I argue, well, empirically, it's not that, it's the legacy of the welfare state. Because as of 1960, which is almost 100 years after slavery ended, the majority of Black kids were being raised in two-parent households. Mm-hmm. But within one generation after the welfare state, that had dropped down to a minority. So that the majority of Black kids today are raised in one-parent households. When you think about it, I mean, centuries of slavery and generations of Jim Crow did not destroy the Black family, but one generation of the welfare state did.
The Moynihan Report, what was it? A call for national action.
Yes.
The Negro family, a call for national action, 1965, and even 50 years ago. And his principal point of alarm, and again, now I'm trying to recall the statistics, but I believe the out-of-wedlock birth rate among African Americans in 1965 was 25%.
Something like that, yeah.
And he was so alarmed that he wrote this report, and today it's over 70%. And by the way, the rate among whites is over 1/3 at this stage.
Yes.
So how does the family breakdown fit into an economic understanding? Is it something, the social breakdown of the American family is something that we have to understand aside from the tools of economics? It just doesn't fit into supply and demand curves
certainly this occurred at a time when the Black income was rising. And so we're saying that previous generations of Blacks with lower income and more racial barriers the family stuck together under those conditions. And under the new conditions, which were advertised to make for great progress, in fact, created retrogressions. And I think many people who were gung-ho for the idea that this was going to be progress simply cannot bring themselves to look at the evidence and say, my God, we made things worse.
Economic facts and fallacies. A fallacy is that the current fatherless families so prevalent among contemporary blacks are a legacy of slavery, where families were not recognized under slavery. This ignores the fact that the problem has become much worse among generations of blacks far removed from slavery than among generations closer to the era of slavery.
Yes.
Close quote. Explain that.
You mean explain why it is so, or
Yeah, see, why is that? What on earth is going on there? That is so counter to what we.
Let me read Cammie's statement. I'm trying to keep up. Cammie said, I wonder if the Boule, we talked about the Black Boule, of course, the elites and the D9s play a role in the pushing of welfare onto Black America. Cammie, we've discussed that here on this channel. So the Black Boule, remember, they are the gatekeepers that the Democrats have to keep Black Americans on the Democratic plantation. So they want to they throw you those crumbs of welfare. You never really have anything. It's just crumbs. And you think you have something, but in essence, you really don't. And so Cammie, I hope that answers your question, dear. I wonder if King X, Bobby Kennedy, and John Hayden hadn't been assassinated, how the world would look. That's a good question, Cammie. William, we also have both parents working. A lot of children in my community don't have both parents home because they're working. Therefore, the family dynamic is stressed when there's one parent. Okay, William, that's a good point. How you doing, Minaski? Sister, God bless you for covering an important truth through the great Dr. So. Yes, I'm an avid follower. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, no problem, love. Cammie, that's an excellent question. So, do Black Americans view welfare as a form of reparation? Answering for my part, I would say no, because you never really have anything. They just give you a few crumbs for you to barely make it. And I had coworkers of various ethnicities who had parents who worked all their lives, and now they were at a point where they couldn't work and they were having health problems. And if you go to social services, they may give them $5 or say, oh, well, you're over the limit. They can't get anything. So again, I feel the welfare the way it's set up needs to be overhauled. Help the people who have paid into the system. Don't continue to encourage bad behavior, because what we're producing are all these people for the prison industrial complex. And it is what it is. How you doing, Pinky? Pinky says, at Cammie, no, most of us don't get and never have received welfare. Okay, Pinky. Cecilia, Roland, I'm not getting my notifications. Cecilia, YT has been unsubscribing people. I'm so sorry. And so Jeffrey, I know a veteran that sits there all day to get food stamps and only gets $8.50. That's a veteran. Jeffrey, that's what I'm saying. The current system is broken. I'm saying, Jeffrey, a veteran, someone who has served this country, roll out the red carpet for someone like that, right? Someone who fought for this country and who may genuinely need help, right, Greg? The Democratic plantation, they keep you there. You never really have anything, and all you're doing is producing children for the prison industrial complex. In other words, slavery by another name. I just dropped another truth bomb. That's all you're doing. And so that's why the Black Boule, the Black Puppets and Plants, NAACP, Al Sharptongue, Ben Crumb, Congressional Black Caucus, they want to keep the status quo the way it is. They're fine with it. They have their checks incoming. They're fine. They know the problems, but they don't want the problems fixed. If you fix the problems, what will the race hustlers do? So, again, this situation angers me because you've heard me talk about it a lot. Yes, Jeffrey, if the roles were reversed, if it were a white parent slapping a black principal. Oh my God, the internet would have broken. Oh my God, that's a race, that's a hate crime. You know, throw the book at her. What racism, white supremacy. You see where I'm going with this. But because it was a black woman that hit a white woman, crickets. Pinky, they stay rich, keeping their people on the plantation. Pinky, that's their job, to keep black people misinformed, disinformed, and poor. And they have their checks. They don't want you to get yours. So they try to keep you there. They try to keep you there on the plantation. Cecilia, so true. The news, that's all it is, Cecilia. That's all it is. And again, if the roles were reversed after saving white kids, the race hustlers would be losing their minds. Oh my God. You know, they would be having civil rights marches. Oh my God. This white parent slapped this black principal. She's in the hospital. I mean, they would lose their minds, ever-loving minds. So is this anti-white racism that we're seeing? What about the principal's civil rights? Does the principal not have civil rights? I just asked the question, and it's a truth bomb. How you doing, Donovan? Fire, continue to teach, Miss Rowland. I'm taking notes. When is the pop quiz? Donovan, I'm giving it to you now, love. Is this a hate crime? Every time, you know, I've said it on here several times. Anytime a black person, and this ties into what we've been saying about the Curry Queen Skamala. And if a white person says something to a black person, oh my God, you're not supposed to do that. You keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything to a black person. A black person is not supposed to say anything to a black person. If they're wrong, you're just supposed to sit there and smile and not say anything, or you are a sellout. If you're white and you're saying something to a black person, like this principal was doing, and she was just asking the lady, ma'am, you know, please, you know, your kids keep running on the court. She was doing what the mother was supposed to be doing, because some of you are just joining. Hit that like button for me, folks. Greg, I just realized that I served our country for people like Hostin, Whoopi, Joyless, Reed, Bear, who called me a racist. Right, Nazi. Right, Greg. I'm saying. Hey, that's what they get paid to do, tell lies. This is Ghetto Parenting 101. And if those children are not taken from her, they will wind up in the prison industrial complex. Mark it down. You heard it here first. I just dropped a truth bomb. That's what these types of situations are producing. Those are the types of kids that they're producing. They're not raising them with morals, with standard. Now, I'm not saying all. I'm saying some, like this Mother of the Year example that I'm sharing with you today. Too many of them are like the Mother of the Year that I'm talking about right now. Should I scream no? I'm playing music therapy on the radio. Hold on, text Ms. Rowland's job. Okay, Jeffrey. So, protecting kids from harm. That's what the principal was doing. These same kind of parents are the same kind of parents that let their kids go out at 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night. They don't know where the kids are, and they really don't care. The kids are joining gangs, doing drugs, involved in criminal activity, and the parents are just glad they're not in the house. I've had students that I've asked during testing, those of you who don't know about the school system, let me explain this to you. During state testing, if you do not have a state test, there's some students, most of them, if they don't have a state test, most of them stay home. I've had students tell me, I'm here because my mother told me I had to come. I said, well, what is your mother doing? Nothing, she's at home. So you have kids that even you don't want to be bothered with. Oh, so you think I'm a professional babysitter? That's what you think I am. Wrong answer. I'm not. Parents, Pinky, some of the parents are in gangs. Yes, William. I don't think it will change. Roland, McDonald's, Walmart, most of their employees are on food stamps. Billionaires support food stamps. They want their employees subsidized so they don't have to pay. William, that's an excellent point. Yes, that's an excellent point, William. You're right. Joy, how you doing, love? Joy's in the house. Political posture is over. I'm very lucky, proud brown man from Compton. Joey, we are glad that you are here. And so thank you so much, Butterfly, for the fair use copyright disclaimer. Jeffrey, I would have had my butt tore up, and when the street light came on, you had to be high. I remember those days, Jeffrey. Yeah, when the street lights came on, okay, you better make a beeline for the house. And let's be real, folks. If this principal had not protected this woman's children, mother of the year's children, say one of the kids had been run over and hit by one of the athletes playing basketball and had been severely injured, type it in the comment section. What do you think mother of the year's next step would have been? Type in the comment section. I'm just waiting. Type in the comment section. I know what it would have been, but I need for you to type it. Somebody type it. I forgot. Somebody please type it. What do you think her next step would have been? Lawsuit. Exactly. Cecilia, speaking of bad parenting, yes. Parenting, arresting, Nozia Hare, exactly. Bad parenting. William is absolutely correct. In California, the wages for people on welfare is subsidized by the state at 75%. Yes, right, Richard. You know she was going to sue. How dare you let one of my children were hurt at the basketball game? Okay, you're going to hear from my attorney. So the principal doing the job mother of the year should have been doing was attacked and had to go to the house. I mean, she knocked her hard out of that chair. Chubbs, Miss Rowland, I respect what you do. You have nerves of steel, and knowing you try to help your students to think for themselves. Chubbs, that's what I tell them. It's not even worth it. Now, these two, and I'll pull a picture up of these two women. Let me finish playing this video. Cammie, you hurt my black baby. I'm going to crash out mode. Call in BLM and sue. Cammie. Right. You know, Cecilia. This is what is so, to me, disheartening. She knocked that woman out of the chair when she had her smallest child in her arms. Her other two children are there looking on at her behavior. So since she went out of there in handcuffs, she and her friend looked like two cows. What happened to her children? You have children, and this is how you're acting? This is totally unacceptable. All right, here we go.
What we assume.
Well, first of all, the people, most people have not recognized the fact that that if you go back into the 20s, you find that married couple families were much more prevalent among blacks then than today. You find also, incidentally, that the blacks were had as late as 1930, blacks had lower unemployment rates than whites. So complain about and attribute to the era of slavery. Those things should have been worse in the past than in the present.
Right.
But in fact, they're worse in the present than in the past. And I think if you want to look for a turning point, it would be since the 1960s.
And what happened in the 1960s?
Oh, you began to have not only the welfare state, you began to have the mindset that goes with the welfare state, so that there was no stigma any longer attached, for example, to being on relief or welfare.
And so, but why? Well, illegitimacy is exploding now among, it's high among Hispanics, yes, and it's exploding among whites. But the Moynihan report, when was that, Tom?
Oh, in the 60s. 65.
When Moynihan talked about the illegitimacy rate among, yes, blacks, which was exploding then. So what if the welfare state changes the way Americans think?
Yes.
Why did black Americans prove susceptible to that change first?
Because they were poor. I don't think that many Asian American girls who are preparing to go off to Stanford or Harvard are going to say, hey, well, I can live on welfare. Why should I abstain?
Nothing so turns the tables on critics of social pathology in the black community as invoking the painful history of slavery. But because slavery has left bitter legacies, it does not follow that any particular bitter experience among blacks today can automatically be attributed to slavery. Cancer is indeed fatal, but every fatality cannot be attributed to cancer, and certainly not after an autopsy has shown death to be due to a heart attack or gunshot wounds. One of the key misfortunes within the contemporary Black community, from which many other misfortunes flow, is the breakdown of the family, or the failure to form a family in the first place.
All right, and I'll stop that because they're just saying pretty much what I've already said. Chubbs, think about what Miss Rowland said about the children getting hurt. The mother would have yelled lawsuit. Maybe that's why she let her kids go on the court. It was about the money. Yeah, I was reading. I was on another content creator's channel earlier, and they were like, she slapped that principal out of the chair because they messed up her. She was trying to get a lawsuit going, and she stopped the lawsuit. Oh my God. Cecilia, teachers and guidance counselors should also get combat pay and babysitting compensation. Cecilia, you're right. And yes, we have fights, but at this point in my career, I don't break up fights. If I see one, I call the front office. No. And we know in the current cancel culture, police officers and teachers, anytime a situation goes south, that police department throws you under the bus, that school district throws you under the bus. So guess what? I'm not breaking up any fights. I'm not. I call for assistance and I let the suits break up the fights. The suits are principals, assistant principals. We have SROs as well at the schools. Where are we here? Pinky, I still say Black men can't blame welfare for breaking up the family. When they left their families, they had to pay to live somewhere, so they could have stayed with their families. Okay, Pinky, and that's a good point. That's a good point. Jeffrey, yes, they think the school is the babysitter so they can do what they want. Jeffrey, they sure do. And we have to remind them, I did not go to college to become a babysitter. Tamika, what age groups? I have, Tamika, I have high school, so roughly 14 through 17, 18. Caesar, my friend's wife is a teacher in Katy, Texas. She was assaulted by a student last year. Caesar, it happens all the time, more than you know. Jeffrey, that's all you can do these days. Jeffrey, yeah, I am not there to be assaulted. Again, when I see fisticuffs breaking out, I go, and I have a little walkie-talkie because my classroom is outside. Or if I'm in the building and I don't have my walkie-talkie, I'll run to the nearest teacher's classroom or I'll run to the front office. But I'm not doing that. I'm not there. And then let me tell you what happened here in North Carolina. I think it was in Winston-Salem. This boy was fighting and his mother. So the principal, to get him to finally let go of the other boy to stop the fight, the principal had to sort of put his arm around his neck. Oh my God, the world was coming to an end. And his mother, oh my God, she just went off. And excuse me, your child was fighting. I have nothing to say to you. If your child is in the wrong, guess what? I don't want to hear it. Teach your child to follow the rules. So again, anytime that people say something about the school system and what we are or aren't doing, again, if you raise your children properly, you don't have to worry about those things. Please hit the like button, folks. We're almost, we have a lot of people in and out of here. Yes, Tamika, they call them SRO. They're school resource officers. And Katie, it happens all the time. Katie, Caesar, I don't know how much time you spend on social media. There are all kinds of videos of teachers being assaulted. And so again, I'm almost to the point where I can get out of it, and I will. Thank you, Jeffrey. And so Jeffrey, exactly. I'm not there to get hurt. And again, it just bothers me. And I was on some other content creators pages or videos earlier. I was leaving some comments. Combat pay, Cecilia. Okay. Yes, Cammie. That, and then it's all over. Teachers are being assaulted. And it's because most of it, A lot of them come from these single parent homes. They don't have any structure. They're not raised proper. Not all, but some. So, and it's not right. And again, this lady who was with her, and if you read the comments on Twitter, they are lambasting this lady. And it's obvious, folks, this lady is miserable. This lady, and let me make sure you have their names. They need to be shamed. Let me share this with you. This is what we, in today's modern public school, this is what we have to deal with. Okay? I hope you can see this. Thank you, Tamika. Yeah, share the live out. Thank you so much. Pinky, I remember in middle school, I had a classmate who brought a mother to school to fight the teacher. Teacher placed her wig on her desk, walked out, won the fight, came back and finished teaching. Pinky! Woo! Yeah, Pinky, they think they try to come up there and push us around and bully us. And like I said, they're miserable. I can't help it that you're at the place where you are in your life, choices you made. All right, look at this, folks. All right. And like I said, this is where this happened. Plaquemine, police arrested. Now, her friend, Alicia Parker, she was arrested for charges on battery of a school teacher, resisting officers. So what is going on in these women's life? For those of you just coming in.
Exchanged. And the mom was having none of it.
The principal sitting in a chair, the ladies walking by.
I was just trying to show it again for the people who came in late. Look at that. She really, yeah, that was a hard hit. That's the principal that circled. I'm putting that up again for those of you who came in late. Her kids are running over them, and she's just, the principal is moving them so they won't get hurt. Because you know, when you're playing basketball, a ball will come flying. She's holding her smallest child. And here comes this other cow. All right. And her friend, her name is, wait a minute. So Jamesia Gajix, she was with Parker. So Alyssa Parker is the one who did the hitting. And her friend, she had a bench warrant. She had warrants out on her. So you ganging up on a teacher. And again, Cammie said it earlier. It was because she was white. How you doing, Baldwin Birds? Now, if a white parent had done this to a black principal, they would be out there now in Louisiana. Black Lives Matter would be marching. The NAACP would be making statements. What about this principal's civil rights? This was a hate crime, Cammie. I'm with you. I'm with you. You know? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Look at that race card incoming. Yeah, someone, entitlement is a disease. Look at these comments. People, again, Democrats, you don't know that this last election was a referendum from the American people. They are sick of this crap. Entitled to everything and ashamed of nothing. Yes. Yep. You see, look at these. I want you to see these comments. Obviously, I can't share TikToks with you anymore because it's canceled right now. And yeah, she needs to get some time in prison to think about her choices. And I'm sorry, CPS needs to take those. She does not need to be raising children. Tell me what you think. Type it in the comment section. Her kids need to be taken from her. And she's probably, like I said, she's miserable. She has 3 kids. There's no man in sight. Choices you made, lady. Okay? They have kids, forget about them, and expect the world to put up with their thug behavior. Okay? And this is the funny part. Can everyone see what she had on her shirt? Read that. This is You can't make this stuff. Read that inscription on her shirt, someone, please. Somebody, please read that. Thank you, Butterfly Nest. Can everyone see that on her shirt? Can you read that? Thank you, Cammie. TikTok is back up. Okay. I'll read it because I haven't seen anyone type it in the comment section. Her shirt says, right, Cammie? Cammie, no negative energy. You can't make this stuff up. If you look up negative energy in the dictionary, you'll see her picture of her face. Oh, my God. Cecilia, I heard Trump was going to get TikTok started again. I didn't know he was going to do it that quickly. Cecilia, BLM is a joke just like the NAACP bought and paid for. Yes, Cecilia, yes. Yes, no negative energy. Jeffrey, that's what it says. And she's one big ball of negative energy. She's, like I said, she's probably miserable. She's lashing out at this principal because God knows what's going on in her life. And she's holding her small child as she's assaulting the principal. Oh, God. You can't make this stuff up. And look at, and I one thing about Twitter, people, they call it as it is. Look at this. This is what Democrats have done to America. You can do what you want, steal what you want, hurt who you want, destroy anything you want, make demands and issue threats. One of the reasons they lost the election, people are tired of this BS. Yes. Yes, I have to give her a like. Yes. The referendum. Yes. Yes. When you realize your people were being judged by the content of their character all along. Now, some of this stuff on here is a little bit, and I was on, I was on one content creator's page. Right, Chubbs, it's evil. Right, Baldwin, you're right. Pinky, thank you. A lot of black men want to fight when I say that once a black man in this chat a few lives ago, I am black and going to speak on all wrong. Yeah. Beverly, she's the negative energy. Yes, take those. She doesn't need to be raising kids. Get out of here. And let me share something else with you. And you said that TikTok is back up. Okay. We'll see about that. Hit the like button if you are enjoying this content. And so the American people have spoken, and I agree. In simulation, how are you doing? Okay. Thank you. In simulation. Thank you, love. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. So again, these parents, everything is someone else's fault. Ashamed of nothing. White people can't say anything to them or they're racist. Black people can't say anything to them or they're sellouts. And they want, I was going to do another video. They want to be allowed to steal, just do whatever. Just hedonistic behavior. Just do whatever. And so I have one more little short I'll share with you. And I'm just like, oh my God. I can't with some of this. And I tell my students, it doesn't make sense. If you control your behavior, don't worry about someone else. Particularly students that get into trouble or if they, get into a fight. And I typically tell them, come see me. And, if you're having some issues with someone, and I normally take them to an assistant principal so that we can try to work out whatever the issue is so that they don't get into a fight. This starts at home. It's learned behavior. I don't blame the kids. I blame the environment. Yes, Cecilia. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, Cecilia. If the principal had done nothing and her kids had been injured, you would have been hearing from an attorney. Lawsuit incoming. This woman is terrible. She should have been grateful. She should have been walking over thanking this lady. She walked over and knocked her out of the chair. Thank you, Tamika. I don't understand. It seems in the 80s and 90s, blacks and whites got along from the hood to the suburbs, at least in my area. Chubbs, the race hustlers, and this really started when Obama, when his first term is when all of this started, and with the George Floyd riots, and you know what happened with Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter, yeah, and that because we didn't have these issues when I was a kid, and now people can't say anything. Everything is racist. Everything hurts someone's feelings. Get out of here. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. And I absolutely agree with you, Chubbs. And the race hustlers have to keep people at each other's necks. They want to keep the checks coming in. We know CNN is dying. MSNBC is dying. So they definitely want to keep people at each other's throats. People, like I said, for the most part, people get along just fine. But every time something happens where a white person does something to a black, here come the race hustlers to continue to stir the pot. And that's just what they do. And thank God all of us here on this channel can see right through it and pay them no attention. And that's just where we are with that, folks. I don't know. What are your thoughts? And I had to share this because I'm always, talking to you about things that are going on in the school system. And I told you I'm sick and tired of educators, the school system being blamed. And this type of behavior that you witnessed in this video, this is not an anomaly. This happens more frequently than you know. So I'm just saying, some of these people, they just continue to make excuses as to why their lives are so horrible. They don't look in the mirror and realize it's because of what you have done. Okay, and it is what it is. So, and I don't know. Race card, Lisa. That's all they have. And again, Americans are like, they don't want to hear that. They're sick of that. And the Democrats, again, they're stuck on stupid. They don't realize people aren't listening to that crap anymore. Come up with another page in your playbook. Okay, they tried that crap. It did not work, and it is what it is. And a lot of the issues are women that have children, and then they're still trying to relive their younger days, and they're out here trying to be hot girl when they're really thought girl. And the kids aren't being raised, and that's what's going on. And then they send the kids to school, and the kids haven't been raised. And I've already talked to you about this. They're talking about the suspension rates for black males. They've been talking about that several years, more than 30 years. As I've told you, they're not being picked on. What are we supposed to do? I'm just saying, what are we supposed to do? Let me show you. I have another little short to show you. Where is it here? I am going to show you what we are up against. And again, some of these people, and this is Shamika Michelle. She's on, let me share this with you. Lots of times, instead of them raising their kids, they're out trying to go to the club, have a ball, smoke weed. Pinky, yes. And they're still trying to relive their teenage years. They don't realize you can't be hot girl anymore. You're supposed to be raising your children. Caesar, yes. Watch this video. This mother of the year #2, her babysitter canceled at the last minute. So she took her small child to the club. Watch this. So this is what we're up against.
You mean to tell me your big back couldn't stay at home instead of dragging your baby out to a concert so that you're out with a bunch of ratchet foolishness? This goes back to parenting. We wonder why we're raising so many kids in society that can't cope. It's the mothers, the single moms, daddy's maybe, mama's baby. You have to take care of this child regardless, and y'all are doing a terrible job. You mean to tell me your big back couldn't stay at home instead of dragging?
Woo, Shamika Michelle. Oh my God. She calls it as she sees it. I love her because she does. So again, this, as Shamika called her, big back, big back, might just get a Big Mac. You need to be home with your small child. The babysitter canceled at the last minute. She takes her small child who's in her arms while this cow is at the club, dropping it like it's hot. And when this child gets a little bit older and they come to, well, I'll be retired. That'll be another teacher's problem. We're supposed to deal with this foolishness, right? Jeffrey, it's like the 9-year-old in Houston that was killed at the Astro World show because of the adults. Yes, Jeffrey. Yes, Cecilia. Yes. Pinky, she was dropping it like it was hot. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah. So what are teachers supposed to do when you have all these kids that have not been raised? They have not had morals, character, and integrity instilled in them. Right, Pinky? So that's why I'm saying, stop pulling the race card. Choices and decisions you are making. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you. And since we're talking about ghetto mothers, let me see what I can share with you. I told you. Oh my God. I don't make this stuff up. This entitled generation. It's embarrassing. They have no shame. I told you, I've been watching videos on all these people because I told you they're cutting welfare. Thank God. And I've been watching all these videos. I mean, these girls are on here crying. I mean, and I've been watching Black, white, Hispanic. They are on there crying their eyes out. What am I going to do? Newsflash, do like the rest of us and get a job. Yes, Tamika, it is. Jeffrey, yes. Jeffrey, my goal, I want to go teach at the collegiate level. So I'm currently working. Matter of fact, I have a Zoom with a retirement specialist tomorrow. I'm trying to see what I'm going to do, my next steps. No, it's not, Jeffrey, because it's all political. And, something is everyone else's fault. The child doesn't do anything wrong. And I don't have time for that foolishness. And again, this parent that you saw on this video, I've seen parents come up there and act crazy. Parents of all races. And some of them had to go out of the school in handcuffs. I've seen it. Okay. So let me show you. And this is all let me show you. I'll show you a small part of this. If you want me to do a video on these people crashing out because the government's cutting their food stamps. I just found this lady and she is hilarious. She's an older lady, but she's calling these people out. And I'll show you this in this small part, and you tell me if you want me to do a video on all these people crying. Now that TikTok is back up, it's all over TikTok. Look at this.
Mm-hmm. Y'all see this right here? Do you see it? Coming to a city or state near you. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for stopping by to see me today. Thank you so very much. Y'all. I have 3 videos I'm going to show you today. Some of y'all stop depending on the government.
That's a truth bomb. This older lady, she's telling it like, let me show you one of the clips. Because they are crashing out. They are, oh my God, they are crashing really bad. Let me see if I can find one of her clips. Where they're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Get a job the way the rest of us have. That's all I can tell you. OnlyFans, yeah. All right, let me see. All right. I'm getting it together here. My computer's a little slow, but it's coming. I wanted to show you some of these people on here crying. Oh my God. And I think all of us who know about all of the waste, fraud, and abuse, they're like, yeah. I mean, sometimes I go to a grocery store and there'll be someone out there, you want to buy some food stamps? They want to sell it they want cash money. All right. Let's see. Is this not the one? Okay, I'll let you see where she's
be able to get up, go to work, and pay for yourself.
Hallelujah.
Especially if that person is an able-bodied adult. I've seen so many people abuse this system. If you are an able-bodied adult, the government is not the one who is responsible for you. You are the one who is responsible for yourself. It is up to you to take care of yourself. Now, if you need food stamps or you need government assistance for a time.
Okay, Lori, I will. Okay. I wanted to make sure you guys can do that tomorrow. And you said TikTok is back up. Hold on, let me find it. Let me see if I can get TikTok up. All right, let me see. Let me get TikTok. Okay. Yeah, like I said, they are on there. Oh my God. And this lady, the first lady I'm showing you, she's supposed to pay back thousands and thousands of dollars that she scammed getting food stamps. She got caught in her scam, and now she's trying to garner sympathy. All right, let me show you this lady. She's all over TikTok. All right, here you go.
My cash assistance.
Okay, here it is.
Not only have I lost food stamps, my cash assistance, my disability for me and my kids over this TikTok crap. Not only all of that, I am now getting threatened that they are going to press charges against me criminally. This is getting out of control. I need to figure out who it is that keeps reporting me, because this isn't funny anymore. Okay, this isn't for
so someone has been reporting her. So she has been getting income from TikTok and not reporting it. So, and you see, she's getting every form of government assistance that she can get. How you doing, Joseph?
Wow, this isn't for games. This is my real life that you are playing with. TikTok is gone in a few weeks. And then I still won't have any of those things. So what am I supposed to do? I can't go get a real job. I can't go get a 9-to-5 job.
You can go do something besides sit there at that house and make TikToks.
That just does not work out. I just can't. So just stop and leave me the hell alone.
Right, Cammie?
Not only have I lost food stamps.
So she was one of the people that are being caught up. Let me see. So all these people are on here complaining. Let me see. She's been all over the place complaining. And don't forget, folks, all of the immigrants that are getting food stamps. Let me see. So I can do that for you. All right. There's another young lady. I think I watched her. So you see these people on here crying. And like I said, it's black and white.
Okay, yes, I am going in 2025 with my 8 kids and still getting my food stamps. I don't care how y'all feel or what y'all think. I'm not letting my plug go. My plug is with me at all times, and he's getting everybody right. And we don't care about no 2025 because, baby, we are loaded with food stamps. With my 8 kids, yes. So either you're going to get you some stamps or just be quiet. One or the other. Do you need me to call my plug? My plug can hook you up right now. We don't care about no president. We don't care about none of that because they scam us. Who cares? Beat the system.
Now, that's how she's raising those kids, to beat the system. Okay? So you guys want me to do a video on that? I will. They're crying all over TikTok. All right. Yes, Caesar. How did people know she was getting welfare? Pinky, these idiots are all over social media. They tell everything. And then what happens is when people get mad at them, people start reporting them. Yeah, because since they're getting welfare, they're supposed to report that income that they're making on TikTok. So now this girl, let me show you this girl right here saying she has to pay $27,000 back.
I just went to check the mail and I received a letter from the food stamps office. It says, after multiple videos were sent into our office, we had to conduct an investigation. And during our investigation, we did come across a few discrepancies in your application. It says, therefore, over the last 6 months, you received benefits that did not belong to you and needs to be paid back. You know how much I have to pay back? Do you want to know how much food stamps I have to pay back? I have to pay back $27,000.
You everyone see that? So what's that? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Jeffrey. Yes. They sit up here and play these games, and now they're all over TikTok and social media wanting people to feel sorry for them. Sorry, not sorry. So they've been scamming the government. Yeah, Cammie, I heard about that. Cecilia, they're supposed to. But like people like her that have thousands of dollars that they are going to be required to pay back. Oh my God. So I wanted to make sure that you were interested in that. And I'll do a video on it. Joseph, all the government agencies that are involved with government assistance programs do monitor all social media and can trace what you do by your IP address. Joseph, and what's been happening, Joseph, a lot of these people, you know how you can be friends with someone one day and then someone gets upset or in their feelings and then they start calling and reporting you. But that generation, they're on social media sharing all of their business. Jeffrey, yes, Jeffrey. Baldwin, I'm not doing anything. All these people, they're all over social media crying and I have to pay back these thousands. Get a job like the rest of us have been doing. And like I said, I've had coworkers, Black, white, Hispanic, once their parents were having some hard times. I mean, their parents are older. They can't get any assistance. I'm talking about people who paid into the system for years. And then you give people who've paid nothing into the system, they get everything. And they're nothing but scammers, most of them. They're selling them for money. PPP loans, scammers and EBT welfare scammers are going to fill up the right. Jeffrey, they're too stupid. They don't realize that. They have to be seen. They're the social media generation. Jeffrey, I'm a Generation Xer. The only thing, Jeffrey, go to my Facebook page. I share a lot of cat videos, a lot of board teacher videos, funny things. You don't see my personal business on my Facebook page. That's personal. Greg, sorry, I don't speak Crockett. A plug, is that someone who's providing something she's doing on the side? I think. Chubbs, no, they're not missing any meals, but they're on here crying, wanting, trying to garner sympathy. And you know what they're also doing? They're asking people for GoFundMes. That's what they're doing. They're asking people to send them money. And some of these idiots are sending them money. A lot of us in this chat might be paying to the IRS this year. Maybe, Pinky. I know, well, I haven't. They've already taken enough money out of my paycheck, so I'm sure I should be good. Yes, Jeffrey. Cecilia, Uncle Sam don't play with this money. We all know. Cecilia, I'll tell you when I found out Uncle Sam don't play. When I started seeing celebrities, I saw Wesley Snipes, and who else was that went to jail for tax evasion? Ronald Isley of the Isley Brothers. I'm like, ooh, they're putting celebrities in jail. I'm like, okay, I pay my taxes, okay? I play with people. I don't play with the government. I'm too old to go to jail. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you so you can see what's going on. Now that you told me TikTok is back up, because I tried to get on it earlier and it was down. The IRS will come after you. I know I'm involved. Oh, okay, Jeffrey. Okay. Thank you for that. Joseph, many of them will have a hard time getting a job once a background check is performed by an employer, especially if they do anything related to OnlyFans. Really, Joseph? Okay. Okay. The IRS, Caesar, for the record, I have 2 children by one woman. I raised both of them to be productive, hardworking grown men. Caesar, that's great. We're talking about these people that'll sit up on social media with all these kids. They're not raising their kids. Because sometimes I go on TikTok and there are people on there singing and doing all this stuff, and their kids are in the background and they keep screaming, "Stop making all that noise." And then they're right back to, doing their TikTok thing. Thank you, Cammie. Oh, okay. Yeah. And a lot of them are scamming and they think, oh, we're getting over. You heard what that last girl said. Yeah, you're getting over, but your day is coming too. So these are the type, that's why you're seeing the crimes that are being committed by these young kids. They have no guidance. The mother of the year that I shared with you earlier, that woman is a hateful, wretched individual. Her friend was too, 2 cows, moo, moo. I hope they throw the book at those women. Yes, Caesar, fathers matter. Take those kids from her. She does not need to be raising children. These kids don't have a chance, folks. Let's keep it real. They're doomed from the start. They are. They're doomed. That's their parent. And with her nasty attitude, I'm sure the father or fathers, plural, is not dealing with her on any level. Look at how nasty and wretched she is. All right. Okay. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with you. I will definitely go live again tomorrow. Let me see where we are here. Talking about a drill. Okay, they're talking. Oh, yeah. I know it's someone who gives them something, but I didn't know what it was. Cecilia, thank you. And thank you, Pinky. The government wants cash money gone. Can't trace it. Passes through too many hands. We have crypto, Bitcoin, traceable things. Oh, okay, Cecilia. Okay. All right. Yeah, and they think it's cool. They're scamming the government. They're getting all these food stamps, and then they're doing all this stuff on the side. And they think we're idiots because we're going to work every day. Make it make sense, people. Greg, I said, I don't speak Crockett. Or Greg, or you don't speak Tiffany Henyard's language. That's that rap. That's that ghetto lingo. We don't, those of us in the chat don't use. Pinky, I sent him the link today, so I don't know what he's doing. I thought he would join. Oh, Jeffrey, you're playing your Fleetwood Mac. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than before. God, I love Fleetwood Mac. Jeffrey, you're playing the big albums. Yes. Yeah, Pinky, I don't know. I'll send them the link like I did today. I don't know. Blackson may be busy. A kid watching ratchet TV shows and listen to ratchet music don't help with their behavior. No, Cammie, it doesn't. It makes it worse. All right. Okay, folks. So you want me to talk about the EBT scammers? Oh, okay. Thank you, Pinky. Yeah, I heard it before, but you forget things. But I thought it was someone who gives you something, something like that. I just didn't remember all of it. Because I'm always reading and learning something new, and that's not a word that I would ever use. So, yeah, go for it. Oh, okay, Jeffrey. Thank you, Chubbs. Another great show. Yes. You know anything about education? I have to share it with you because we get blamed for everything. That's why I bring receipts and I want to show you. Thank you, Tamika. I want to show you what these people are doing. These ratchet women are raising these kids with no morals, no integrity, no character, and then they're unleashed on American society, and they're robbing, they're stealing, they're unaliving people. This is why. No guidance. And look at what Mother of the Year, is doing in front of her children. Does it make sense? Is it all making sense now? That's why these kids are doing what they're doing. Look at the mother. She's probably angry at the world again. She's a scammer support. They're still mad at the election. I've been watching all kinds of videos where Black women are lashing out at people, cursing people. They're angry about the election results. Yes, Jeffrey, that's what they're doing because they're not being raised. They're fending for themselves. They don't have a chance. Look at who's raising them, or lack thereof. Okay. And it is what it is, folks. And I know a lot of people don't like what I'm saying, but how can you correct a problem and you're not willing to address it? I don't mind addressing it. We know what the problem is. Jeffrey, that's what they do. They blame everything is the teacher's fault. Joseph, social media is not only highlighting all this bad behavior, but also telling on the parents. Yes, Joseph, social media has made it worse. As much as I love social media, again, you go to my social media pages, you'll see funny cat videos, funny teacher videos. You don't see personal business on social media. Oh, this happened to me today. Oh my God, my car has been repossessed. My house is for. That's personal business. I mean, that's not happening to me, but I know people that it has happened to, and then they go on there and share it with the world. That's personal. That's private. No. Laurie, get over it. Yes, teachers, mothers, and police officers get blamed for everything that goes wrong in America. Pinky gets it. Cecilia, I've said that forever. If I had my way, government assistance would be for elderly people, for disabled people, for our veterans, and mentally ill. Everyone else, figure it out. You're giving all this to people who have contributed nothing, and they won't contribute anything as long as you continue to give them handouts. It's in continuing to encourage bad behavior. You can thank the Democrats for that. Caesar, I have family members and friends that are still crying about the election, even after watching Gavin Newsom mismanage California into oblivion. Right, Caesar? Joseph, I remember when social media was in the early stages, there was supposed to be many limitations on what could be posted online. Joseph, they've thrown that out the window now. Everything's online now. And like I said, it's only exasperated the situation because people do a lot, like the guy who he was arrested spraying poison on fruits and vegetables in Walmart. They're doing this for views and for likes. That idiot young lady, I don't remember her name. She was going, when you buy ice cream, when you remove the lid, there's a thin plastic layer. You remove that and then boom, there's the ice cream. She was going in stores, taking that off, licking it and putting it back in for views and clicks. Of course, she was arrested too, because that's endangering the public as well. Because if she had a communicable disease, well, then now she's a super spreader. Yes, Laurie. So that's where we are, folks, and I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to share that with you. I will be live tomorrow. I will be home because it is Dr. King's birthday. It's a federal holiday, so I will not be working. I will be here. I may even do 2 videos tomorrow. Depends on how many of you come in the first time around. So look for me to go live about 1 or 2 o'clock, something like that. And then if you want me to, I'll also go live again later on in the day. All right. Yeah, Pinky, he'll never make it though. He wants to be president. He'll never make it. Not all we need to do is look at California. Case closed. All right, folks, I'm going to go. I enjoyed all of you. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, share this content. Yes, January 20th. Yes, yes, yes. I can't wait. Cammy, yes, they're unaliving people for clicks and views. They're doing it live. They're unaliving people live. And then, of course, the police just come and promptly put the cuffs on them and take them on. But they got views. Unbelievable. All right. Jeffrey. Okay, Miss Rowland, you all have a great day and be safe. Stay warm. Yes. Jeffrey, we're supposed to get some inclement weather in North Carolina too. So I may be out of work a few days. And if I have power, I'll be live. You know, if I go live during the day, school's out due to inclement weather. Sandy, how are you? Oh, Sandy Cathcart. Sandy, we're leaving now. Do me a favor, love. Hit the like button. And Sandy, since we are leaving, please watch the video. And all of you, let's help YouTube to share. Let's trigger the YouTube logarithm. Even after I end the live, leave a comment up under the video. YouTube likes to see engagement. They like to see people commenting. And when you comment, guess what? I respond, okay? My channel is small enough where I can still respond to people's comments, and I love it. You too, Jeffrey. I'll be live tomorrow. Sandy, again, we're leaving now, but please go back, do the replay, and you can leave me a comment, and I will respond. Thank you so much, Cecilia. Cecilia, I'll be live tomorrow, love. Rest in peace, Rest in heaven, Dr. Martin Luther King, January 15th. Right, Cecilia, you're right. Yes, we'll see all of you tomorrow, probably about 2:00 p.m. Let me type it in the comment section. I'm thinking 2:00. Okay. All right. I've enjoyed each of you, and thank you for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. Yes, Caesar, it is over. You know where I'm going now. I'm going to the comment section. I will continue to respond. Thank you so much, Sandy. Sandy, be here tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. Love, Laurie, you as well, dear. Leave me some comments under the description box, and I will respond. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. Going straight to the comment section now to talk to you.